Welcome back to Duckman Cycles and VW Garage. Behind me is my 1956 Volkswagen chop-top oval Beetle, also known as Eleanore. For those of you just joining my channel that aren't familiar with this project, I got this and it was just completely destroyed. I mean, it was completely rotted out. There wasn't much left of it, so I decided to rebuild a car with what I had, and I knew it wasn't going to get it perfect, so I did the best that I could. And what we've got is a chop-top oval. Now behind me here, up in the trunk, a couple people asked me what that is. That's actually a trailing arm from a Porsche 944. That is the one that goes on the driver's side back here that I haven't installed yet. And yes, they do fit on a Beetle. IRS Beetles, not swing axle. This car has been converted to IRS. I put a later pan in it with ball joint front end. If you want to drive your Beetle, that's probably the better combination. This car wasn't going to be original. We knew that because it was destroyed, but here we are today showing you the gas tank that we've been working on. It's this guy right here. And the intent and purpose of this was to make it look like it was a stock 1956 Beetle tank, or at least as close as we could possibly get to it. But since the front end of this car had been changed with a later model Beetle, the earlier tank didn't fit in the hole where it was supposed to go. So I'm going to continue cutting and welding on this. Most of the welding is actually completed. I'm going to go ahead and show you that in just a minute. And there's a few changes that I want to make to this. But before we get into that, please go ahead and give me a likey on this video. Please click the little subscribe button that you see on the bottom and pluck the little dingle belly next to it. That way you get updates every time I upload a new video. Now don't forget, I have more than one channel. You can also find me over on VV the Duck VV as well as Skeeter the Duck, and you can find out some of the other things that I do over there. One more thing I'd like to share with you, I do have a brand new Facebook group page for Duckman Cycles and VW Garage. So go up to Facebook, search for Duckman Cycles and VW Garage, and join the group. There's a lot of people that are posting their Volkswagen projects in there, people that are asking questions about either my project or how I can help them with theirs. So if there's something that I can do for you, please join the group. It'd be nice to have you. Thanks for watching. So, I think this tank looks pretty good where it's at right now. Just the way that the thing's configured, the general shape of it, we've demonstrated that a smaller spare tire will fit in this well. The one thing that's really bothering me though is this 45-degree cut here on this corner. I don't have to change that, but I don't like it. I think it's ugly. It's really bothering me. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut that out. And there's a couple different ways that I think I can handle that. So we're going to put it up on the bench and we're going to have a look at it together. And let's see what I can do to make this corner look more like the 90-degree corner on that end. Okay, getting a closer look at this corner, I can tell you right away that there's not going to be enough metal to rebuild that corner. Now underneath at the bottom there is an area under here, so this is hollow up on top. So it's not like this is just two pieces of sheet metal butted together. I believe I can cut through here, down along this line, up here, fold this top part out, and then run a cut down the middle of this, and then fold these two triangular pieces up, and then make some patches to fit in between. That may or may not be the best way to do it. If it had some kind of English wheel or some type of planishing hammer, I would actually form a new corner and then just cut the whole thing out and weld it in. So, because I don't, I think I'm going to make this in a few different pieces. So let's see what we can do with what we've got, and let's see if we can make this work. And if my cuts here look stupid, I may do the best I can just to make a new corner, and we'll go that way. But I think that's where we're going to start. So let's see how this turns out. Okay, I started that cut. I ran right along through here, around that bottom, and up the side here. I'm in uncharted territory. I've never cut up a gas tank before like this, so I don't know what I'm going to find in here. Could be everything or nothing. Could be $1 million. Probably not. Let's see what's under here. I think I'm going to have to put another relief cut right over here. because that doesn't want to bend up. Nope. Alright, there's that 45-degree corner all turned inside out. Now you're beginning to see where I'm going to need to make the patches and how some of these bits are still going to fold together. I've got a little bit of playing with here to do, and I'll get this straight. See exactly where I need to bend and form. I'm going to need a patch through here. I'm going to need a little patch over here. This line and this line might actually line up. Over here, this line and this line might get kind of close. I'm going to need a patch here, and there's going to be a patch way over here. But I think that's not too bad, keeping most of the original metal. I'm sure there's better ways to do it, you guys, but this is the way I'm going to do it, and it's a little challenge for me too. I get to fold things around and hammer out some dents and smooth things out, and you know, it's fun. Alright, there we are. We've got this part stitched together with that part. They actually did sandwich together quite perfectly. These two over here overlap by about 3/8 of an inch. So where the ears, little corners came together, I just cut it right through with the saw. Just gave it one of those right on through there. Started to tack it together. I'm having trouble with the ground wire again on this welder, so I'm going to have to play with that a little bit. But you can see where we're at now. That most of the original metal did pull this all together, so I'm only going to have to make a little patch for here, a little patch for here, and this I'll probably cut straight through here and make one rectangular patch for in there. So that corner actually formed itself out pretty well. It's going to require a little bit of dent pulling, because some of the folds weren't too kind to where the metal was laying at. Apparently that was a very structural corner to what was holding us together here. Now this side is going to be a little bit taller than that side. If I had it my way, they'd be both exactly the same with the same ribs on both sides. But in this case, I think I got close enough, and that's not going to bother me as much as the 45-degree notched corner did. So I'm going to continue cutting away and welding at this thing, getting this thing patched up, and then we'll start pulling some of the dents out of it, and we'll come have a look again in a few minutes. Okay, I've got that contour banged out on here. It's pretty rough, but I just about got it. Now, for a piece for the corner, and this green might look mighty familiar, this is actually a piece of the roof from the oval. I'm going to cut the bottom off of it there and make a little patch that slips right here in the corner. No big deal. Watch this. There you go. My nice green corner made there. I'm going to get it tacked in and then do a little bit of hammering around the edges here to get that shape to form a little bit better. Alright, we're tacked in. I'll do a little bit of shaping here. Now you don't want to whack the shit out of it, you just kind of let the hammer bounce off of it. And then run your finger over. See if you get a nice smooth transition between the two pieces. And what this is actually doing is, as I'm beating them, they're coming together. Okay, we're good. We're going to weld that in the rest of the way. Alright, real quickly I wanted to see what we had. I got that corner welded in there, and I've got a file here to start taking down those welds so I can show you the finished product. It's starting to get a little dark out here. I guess you really can't tell too much because the camera is pretty good about compensating for the light adjustment. But I want to give you a demonstration as to what the final product is going to look like before I start wrapping things up. I'm going to finish up these other holes in another video, but you'll be able to see what it looks like when it's going to be smooth and flat. And a lot of these dents still need to be beat out a little bit. I don't want to use a whole lot of filler. I'm not a nut for Bondo. I use it for just what it's intended for, just for smoothing the surface, not for filling huge dents. So anyway, we're going to take this down a little bit, smooth it out, and I'll show you what it looks like in just a couple minutes. So anyway, there it is. It's all nice and smooth now. You can still see a little bit of the welding scar, but I don't want to sand into that too deeply because sheet metal is thin enough as it is, and I don't want to start burning holes through it and then end up with a bigger problem. So just a little bit of filler skimmed over this here and sanded out nicely will do the job, but I mean it's a nice smooth transitioned corner. None of the weld edges are catching my skin. It has a nice curved contour this way, and it's got one this way, got one over here, and it's got one up over the corner this way. But you can see the kind of attention to detail that I was putting into this car by taking that 45 degree out and killing it. Now I'm going to finish up these little patches. Maybe I'll put it in another video. I probably won't. You got a good example as to how the process works right here. So with that said, give a thumbs up if you like this video. Please click the little subscribe button down there in the corner, and pluck the little dingle belly there next to it. Of course, my phone is ringing. It's also my business line, so I'm going to have to grab that. Don't forget that I have other channels to subscribe to, VV the Duck VV, as well as Skeeter the Duck, so please check them out also. So while you're at it, please go on over to Facebook and check out Duckman Cycles and VW Garage group page, and go ahead and add yourself to the page, and check us out. There's a whole bunch of my fans on there, as well as my friends that are sharing their projects, and if you have a question or you have some type of concern with your own project, post it up. Let's talk about it. If I can't help you, maybe one of the other group members can. So thank you very much for watching. Until next time, we'll see you. Figured I should give one last look as to what it's going to look like when it's actually installed. And there you go. I now have a completed corner. No longer have that weird 45 degree cut on there. I gotta admit, looks pretty damn good to me. I'm very, very satisfied with that. So anyway, after all that bullshit, it turned out it was actually an 800 number. It was a robocaller. It wasn't anybody I even wanted to talk to anyway. Fuckers.